Hello, how are y'all doing tonight? We just finished watching Mariah's great stream, so welcome Raiders for joining. Hope you're all doing pretty well. I know it's a crazy time in the world to say the least, but we're here to hopefully have some good development fun tonight and make some progress on a key project that is going to become increasingly important as I go forward with this. And I see already I got some glitches in my overlays down there. I'll have to figure that one out. Always something new. So welcome Unicorn Coder and others. Please say hi in the chat. We're a friendly bunch here. And what we're going to do tonight is hopefully continue some much needed polishing of my Shiny Learning package to help kind of show the evolution of a Shiny app from my dev to production in terms of what it might look like from the interface side, and kind of be, as our good friend Dr. Daniel Chen had coined a month or so ago, kind of like the flip book of Shiny apps. So we're going to polish that up and see where we go from there. Hello, Big Pod. You are always up late whenever I stream. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining. So I guess we better dive right into this. Let's see if my bits are working here. Okay. We're going to be looking up Golem for a little bit for inspiration, but let's see where I left off here. Get my windows all selected here. So we're actually going to do a little kind of verification of things first, because I made some changes off stream a couple nights ago to make things a bit simpler for making the app. But my goal tonight is, once I do a little verification here, to polish up the README, but also find basically a showcase example to illustrate before somebody uses this package, why would they want to use it and what is the outcome of it. So that's where we get to look at my my portfolio, if you will, of open source Shiny apps, and we might pick one and kind of re-engineer it to fit into this Shiny learning mode, and use that as kind of like an example in the README, or examples I can point people to online and say, this is what you can expect to have when you use my package. And hopefully it gets a lot of interest, and with interest comes more contributions, and hopefully this will be one of my better contributions to the Shiny community. So okay, so we're actually going to do a couple different environments tonight, because look at this. I have both VS Code and RStudio server ready to go. They're on the same project, but with two different IDEs. This is why I do my fancy Docker development setup that I've been, happy I finally got that set up. Is it perfect? No, but it's, it's good enough so I can toggle between these and verify that things are working on both environments. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look in RStudio to make sure that the machinery I've set up for a Shiny Learning, for creating a new Shiny Learning project, will work just as well here as it does in VS Code. And so let's get this set up here. I'm going to my code up here, and well, Mr. Big Pod, I know how you feel. Trust me, I do. I get entertainment whenever you're honest about this. You should start streaming again. It's just too lazy to do. You will. I mean, you've got a lot of things you want to talk about. I've heard you, so you'll get there. Hello, Tan. Welcome to the stream. I told you on Discord, but I had great fun watching the VOD of your contributions to the VizBuzz. I don't know if I've said it verbally right, but I am intrigued by that new adventure from Nick Wan, and I may throw my hat in there once I get Shiny Learning in a better spot. So Okay, so the first thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to make sure that my revised machinery for creating a Shiny Learning project is actually going to work in RStudio. So that's why I have this one up right now. As always, Unicorn Coder, keep me honest. If you think the font needs to be enlarged, let me know, and I will be glad to zoom in on that. But let's get everything loaded here first. I'm still... What in the world? Are you kidding me? No dev tools. What? What? Oh, my goodness. All right. That's a new one for me. I'm in the right project. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to install it manually. I'm surprised about that, but we'll get this in. Okay, now we're in business. All right. All right, there we go. All right. And by the way, for those that are watching this live, I do have something I'd like your input in. Is I've joked about this on other streams and also even in just my other podcasts I've done. One of the things I'm bad at is naming things. Now, I'm pretty certain that Shiny Learning is not going to be the file name of this package. I definitely want something that's simple yet memorable, and hopefully fits the spirit of what I'm trying to do. So for those out there that are creative with names about this project, I am open to suggestions as I start to roll this out. I want something that's, easy to remember and that captures the spirit of it. So obviously I was very boring when I first drew this up and combined shiny and learning into one word, but if there's better approaches to naming this, please chime in. I will be glad to take those suggestions. So I've changed things a little bit in this add shiny learning function to make it a bit simpler and to mimic more of the workflows I've seen in other projects that kind of bootstrap certain things. So shiny snapshot, yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. You know what? Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's put this in our README. This README needs to be overhauled anyway, so let's we're gonna call it Shiny Learning, and then possible names to use. All right, call it Shiny Snapshot. Yeah, that might work. Well, Big Pod's not alone here, for sure. Again, Mr. Honest here. Yeah, not good at naming things. Most of my projects start with Big Pods and basically 1 or 2 word description of what it does. Yeah, I know. Totally get it. I am totally get it. And Unicorn Coder, you are very creative, so I'm certainly leaning on you as well if you have ideas for this. You're certainly creative on the graphics front for sure, and I love your input on this as well. So anyway, yeah, we'll keep going. So shiny snapshot's a contender, and TARDIS, time machine. Oh, okay. Well, we might a play on time machine. We'll figure that out. Yeah. I definitely want to capture the spirit of kind of like the educational aspect of it, like you're leveling up well, you know what? There's a couple of perspectives. It's kind of learning how something is being built, but it's also just that ability to go back in time through the evolution of it. So anyway, we'll keep that in mind. I'll keep jotting the suggestions down as we go. All right, so let's make sure this thing works. So the way I did this is fs path what was it, path temp. Yep. And then we're just call this MMM. Now the defaults of this override false, open equal false. So it shouldn't open it, but it should just. All right, now you see what I've done that's different than last time you all saw. This was just a while ago. Is I finally, and I say finally because I've been using R for this long, and then only now have I actually started using Gabor's CLI package to make these nice little lines and check marks and stuff. And some of it came from usethis as well. So like we have a line saying like we're going to create this app, and then this creating app directory, I think that comes from down here below. And then all this here is actually from usethis. So usethis is creating a new project and writing the RStudio project file, adding stuff to gitignore, blah, blah. And then I've also copied the app templates, and it says done. And then I just have a message saying a new shinylearning app. Name this is created at this directory. So let's go ahead and open that and make sure that actually works. So do open project. Now I'm going to have to just type the temp directory. This is called, what's the cryptic rtemp lingo here? Rtemp KS7, blah, blah, blah. And there is MMM. Let's make sure this part works. We are switching. We are switching. What? The project file does not exist. What does that mean? Well, good thing we're in here, right? We're gonna have to debug this. Okay, so let's inspect it, shall we? Oh, oh no, the temp directory is gone. Ah, yo. Okay, we're gonna have to recreate the app again. All right. So just as I thought I had things figured out. Well, we redo all this. All right, so call it Tron. All right, so we're going to inspect this and see if anything crazy's happened here before we open it. Let's do a new terminal here. All right. What was that called? rtemp SLU. All right, so there's Tron. There's tron.rproj. Let's see what that looks like. That sure looks legitimate to me. So what could possibly be the issue here? Let's just try that again, I guess. Or we can close this first and then we'll open it. Or wait a minute. Is this because I put this in a temp directory? When I close the project, that temp directory is wiped out. I wonder if that's the case. Now what we can do is we will move this to the actual app directory where I have that prototyping folder. Okay, so that's mounted my home directory on Docker. Yep, right. You know, I could just make it, you know what? I know what I should do. Sorry, I'm jumping around here. Just like a sandbox folder. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can replicate that nonsense here. Open. Should have my sandbox here. Yep. Tron. Okay, so it was a temp directory snafu. So we have the app here. Let's make sure the app works. Now, what's interesting here is that in RStudio, usually when you open an app.r file, it'll have that like green button that says run. So I wonder if I've screwed that up. Oh, because I do the do.call. It's not so. Okay. Now, of course, what will work is I just run all the lines here and it. What? Oh. Okay. I did change something here. This app is expecting that shinylearning itself is installed. So we need to actually build it. We'll go back there. We need to build it and install it in this Docker container, and then we'll be all set. So let's just be, we could just run the check. But we need to do this anyway. And then we'll see what kind of nonsense that I screw up here. There's really nothing going on here, to be honest, other than looks like some documentation stuff I need to clean up. Yep, imports. So certainly this is not CRAN ready, and frankly, it's not going on CRAN yet because, oh, I need to add that to the build ignore. Okay, so there's just documentation stuff here. The reason I can't put this on CRAN yet is because the brochure package that Colin Fay is using that's making all this possible, that's only on GitHub. So of course I'm not gonna put a package on CRAN that has a key dependency that's only on GitHub. So this won't go on CRAN anytime soon. So BigPod, yeah, you have smart eyes. The reason that is because I have two windows open and they haven't quite overlapped each other. But see, I have VS Code in the background, and then this is the Brave window for our studio server. I just didn't maximize it enough. So yeah, we'll hide that for now. I don't have, I did have a side tangent with my OBS setup. I had some slick automation for like the window resizing with like the, what's it called? X window stuff. I forget the command name. But when I moved to like the Stream Deck, the Unix GUI that Yannick helped.
Who's ready for story time with our
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are. Yeah, we've already gone into it, so why not? The text story, and then we'll have some more fun stories. So when I moved all my Stream Deck stuff from that Python program that we were all using before, now we're using that Stream Deck Unix GUI that's written in Go. My X window resizing stuff, I didn't port everything back yet. So I used to have a button on here on the Stream Deck where if I pressed it, it would magically resize the windows to like be good at either the chat view like I'm in now or in the full view when I hide the chat window. And I just forgot to port it over. So I have to manually resize it now when I drag these in. So that's the text story here anyway. And then, yeah, other stories. I realized that I have a long ways to go in certain areas, and one of them is hold on a second. So BigPod, name of the program that shows messages on screen. Do you mean if I go back to hold on a second, let me go back to my, Do you mean this little scrolling thing down here when I'm in this view, the thing that scrolls back and forth, or do you mean something different? Just make sure I'm wanna make sure I understand that right. Okay, so while we wait for that, you mean that? Oh yeah, I know. I think I know what you mean. Unicorn Coder Good Eyes. That is a program called Featured Chat. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. Yeah, I mean, or not show. Look at me, I'm talking like I'm a podcaster. All right. Link. Sorry, I have to type in my microscopic. Link is feature.chat. Okay. Yeah, that should be the one. Yeah, I love it. Martin or Wimpy found it first, and then I was like, yeah, I gotta get in on that. Okay, so how did I get some kind of humbling things over the weekend? So my youngest is in kindergarten, and there's this other kid is not in his immediate class, but he went to the daycare with him, and now they're in the same grade. They're just not in the same class, but they actually live only a few houses down. And we had a little play date at their place on Sunday after he finished his little online Chinese school stuff. And their house, this other kid's house, is absolutely spotless. Like, it is clean up and down. It looks like they just moved in. Everything's so polished. And then I look at mine, and it is the complete opposite. It is like, you don't want to see where the other side of my basement is right now. It is absolutely horrid. And it's like, where did I go wrong? I have two kids that just will never pick up after themselves, and then they have this immaculate house across the street. And it's like, okay, I told him, if you ever want to have this friend over, you're gonna have to help me clean up a little bit, because there's no way anybody would want to go in my place after being in that kind of clean, perfect environment. Oh, it's just crazy. It's great. I don't know how they have time to manage keeping it like that, but it was literally like it was being a show house for like being on sale or something. And they're not moving, they just moved in. So it's like crazy how they do that. There's balances, right? I mean, my wife and I, my partner and I both work full time, ironically at the same company. The kids' activities have gone up exponentially in the last couple of years. We cook all the meals basically, except for takeout occasionally. I'm Mr. Kitchen person in the evening, and then in the early morning to cook stuff. So I just do not have any spare time other than occasionally on weekends when I get fed up with stuff and I'm like, I want to actually use my basement for exercise, but I can't exercise with all this toys that they outgrew or just scatter around the floor because they had some random thought in their head. So it was more of like a kick in the butt to get this house in better shape. But I do want to start having this kid over, because it's kind of greedy to be able to only go to like their house. They got to come over here occasionally. But it's like, once I saw that place, I was, of course, nice about it. But it's like in the back of my mind, how in the holy heck am I going to compare with this? So yeah, this is always something that as a parent I can identify with. What is their secret, right? Well, I did find out that the father is in between jobs at the moment, so he's able to manage things a little bit. So certainly time is one of those secrets, which I frankly do not have right now. Especially some of this outside collaboration stuff that I'm working on at the moment, which this shining learning thing may play a role in it. I don't know yet. So yeah, a little humble pie for that story time. Okay, so what we have verified is over. Let's clean up some of these checks here. So if you're kind of new to what I just did here, when you're building an R package, we use a package called DevTools that kind of run the orchestration of putting everything together, running checks to see if we were to submit it to CRAN, what are some of the areas that we need to shore up in order for it to be a, you know, a clean package, if you will, that would be appropriate for it. So we see some directories here. In fact, I need to like redo all the tests stuff, so I may just remove that directory at the moment. We'll put it back, but right now the only thing we did in here was, yeah, that shouldn't even be here. Why is that here? Yeah, this needs to go. So we're gonna get rid of all this. I think there was some crazy stuff earlier, so let's nuke the test directory. Whoops. Delete. Oh, Esme Potatoes. Hello. You have an interview. My goodness, what are you doing here? But no, Esme is part of our Linux gang of friends over at Wimpy's World and has been doing some racing with us. So good luck on your interview. No idea what it's for, but I know those can be challenging. So good luck with that. But thanks for popping in. Always great to have some of the Linux friends around here. So all right. Okay, so we've cleaned that part up. Let's see what oh yeah, the build ignore. So, oh yeah, this needs to be shored up. So I'm slowly learning the lingo around this file. It's kind of like git ignore, but it tells your package not to include these directories in here. So we have a dev container folder. That's for like development, so we don't want that. Anything else in here we need to worry about? Oh yeah, we need to clean up our documentation here and the license file. Yeah. Okay. Imports not declared from bslib. Really? Did I not import bslib? No, I didn't. Okay, well, that's another good catch. Or fs. Oh, wow, I have a lot to clean up here. Okay, well, let me copy this to a simple temp file here while I clean up this issue. So the way we declare dependencies, we could just hard-code it in the description file, but we often like to use this package, and we'll say bslib.
Thank you for the follow, Esme Potatoes.
Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Yep, I try to do this once a week, sometimes twice a week if I'm ambitious. I was off last week because a lot of other stuff happening, but yep, I'm trying to get regular again. So thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Okay, let's get fs in here. Let's get blue in here. And per, we were just talking about per in Mariah's stream. A package I cannot live without. Rlang. RStudio API. We do stringer. And Whisker. Love that name. And lastly, xfun. Okay. I'm fairly certain in this package I am not using Lubridate because the last thing I want to do in this package is time zone stuff. So I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole tonight. Okay, so let's see. My description file now has a lot more stuff in it. Now, one thing to note is that brochure should not be listed like this. It should be in the remote section. So I need to tweak this a little bit. Let's use dev package. Sure. There we go. Yep, that's more like it. Okay, yep. So there we go. Okay, so that should clean up the description file. Let's run our check one more time, see if there's anything crazy that we should worry about now. Okay, I did see... Yeah, the licensing, we'll take care of that at the end here. Yeah, so the snapshot shinylearning's got some issues. What? I thought those are part of the dev container. Let's see. Oh, they're not. Okay. All right. Well, let's add those to our build ignore. Docker ignore. What else was it? Linter. Yep. And then we had VS Code. Okay, all right. All right, that should take care of that stuff. Let's knock out this snapshot shinylearning issue. All right. Oh, right. So why did I get rid of that argument? Or was that was maybe for future use? Yeah, maybe well, I'll put it back in. I just won't. Let's set the default to true. Okay. That should... Yeah, that should fix the error there. So let's load this and then we'll try again. Cool. Run the check. All right, not seeing any nonsense here other than the license thing. And if that's the only issue, I'm just going to go ahead and build it to make sure. Yep, perfect. So now the way this works here is we should be able to install it. Let's see what happens. What? Of all the cryptic messages I've ever seen, that's a real cryptic one. That's probably a Docker thing. Usually it's because I do the fancy stuff. Let's see, did it actually get... And it probably didn't get entered here. No, it did get here. Okay, it is here. It must be just some random stuff. So the reason we did all that is now we're going to go back to the Tron project. And now we're going to try running this again. Probably, yeah. Tan is spot on. I think Tan and I've seen a lot of interesting things over the years of RStudio and Shiny ears. Usually RStudio will try to be nice and do the restarting for you, but then it sometimes doesn't quite do it, so we just have to reload it again. So which I've basically done here with the new project, and now we're going to see this hopefully work. And of course it won't. Oh, well, help I actually loaded my own package. All right, let's try that again. What? We cannot find function Geneva. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, well, this is why we're doing this tonight. Gotta figure out, did I not export those functions out? No, I didn't. Of course it's not going to be able to find it. Okay, we're going back to the other one. Okay. New York Encoder does have a very topical question in my world. Is our weekly still going? Unfortunately, we are still on hiatus a bit. We kind of have some material, but we just haven't had a chance to really assemble it yet. But I'll keep tabs on it for sure. And as soon as it comes back, I'll be back behind the mic for the Highlights podcast with Mike Thomas, and we'll keep going there. But unfortunately, we're still in the same situation as I mentioned in my latest actual podcast episode, where we're kind of in the dark with some of the tooling, and we're trying to re-engineer some of it. So Tan, with RStudio Web, I don't think you can have two projects open in RStudio Server open source, but I can tell you for sure with RStudio Workbench that you can have multiple projects open at the same time, because I do that all the time at work. So I just don't think you can do it with the open source edition. Another one of those like enterprise-y features. There's that. There's also the stuff they do with databases and the professional drivers that are bundled, and some other stuff with like the job launcher. That's also, they do some extensions for the enterprise edition to integrate with schedulers and the like. So there's other things that they give you for that. Okay, Big Pod. Yeah, well, thanks for coming on. Always great to have you. And hopefully we'll have racing this weekend, and I'll be able to join in this time. I was too busy with the kids stuff, but I will try to get back at it behind the wheel this weekend. Okay, so let's go back to my files here. We know what we have to do. It's just a matter of doing it. Since this is going to be used in the app, like the template apps that are made, we need to export this. So now that we're in RStudio, one of the nice things we can do here is in the code menu, we can set code or edit. Insert our oxygen skeleton. Yep. All right. It'll be good to explain how this function has kind of changed a bit since the last time I talked with all of you. Yes, that's right. Oh, let's plug this. I always like to plug what my good friends are doing. So Big Pod will be part of a live stream tomorrow our time, around, usually on the Eastern time zone in the US, it happens around 3 o'clock Eastern. But what Big Pod's mentioning is he'll be a guest with my other good friend Martin Wimpress on the live stream that they do a lot of kind of Docker container development. And what we are talking about here is the company called Slim.ai. The idea of this, we won't go too much into it, but they're offering a service both for open source programs as well as a hosted service to take Docker containers and really try to strip out the unnecessary bits to make them leaner, more secure, and easier to manage for both developers and enterprises. Y'all should give me some kickback. I'm giving you some nice free advertising here. But they're very good people. So Docker Slim is the actual open source version of it, but they have a Twitch channel. So Big Pod will be a guest on that tomorrow, and I'll try to watch if my work doesn't have me in any crazy meetings or anything. So, yep. Okay. So that's that. Oh, yeah, he was trying to put the link in. Sorry for that, Big Pot. I will make sure you are a VIP status next time you come in here. Thank you, Tan. You're always on top of it. Okay, so what this function here is doing, this gen nav items, this is actually creating the navigation bar at the top of the app that brochure has, so that you toggle between the different snapshots or the different sub apps. So I've actually re-engineered it a little bit to take advantage of BSLib's way of doing a navigation bar. Whereas the last time you all saw this, I had to do some custom CSS trickery, which was a good learning experience, but now I get a native functionality in not VS, in Shiny itself with BSLib. So it's still the same intent. It's just navigation bar for Shiny. Okay. I think I just keep it like that for now. Let's try to be consistent with my path. Path to existing app. All right, which tab should be active when, or I should say when initializing app. Default is on. And actually, I did do some troubleshooting off stream earlier. With brochure apps, you do need kind of like what's called a home, like an index page of the whole brochure app that has to go to like the slash, point of the URL. So my hope is that with these template projects, that index page is where the app author can tell the user about the app and kind of why they're using Shiny Learning or whatever, anything they want. It's basically markdown text in a Shiny tab. And I don't think that can be an optional thing anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this parameter out because we need it anyway. So we may I may clean this up later, but I'm not going to make that optional for now. I'm going to make that a hard-coded thing. All right, that's the only place I used it. So, okay, so we got that out of here. So return. So nav links is a list. Okay, so list of navigation are elements created with lib export. I don't have an example of that yet, but I think every other package I use here, I namespace prefix it, so don't need an import here. The get page is going to be an internal function. I don't think we need to expose that. No, I'm not so sure. I need to go back to the template. Let me just see what I did earlier here. I have gen nav bar. Nav links. Yeah, I don't think I do. Okay, yeah, I don't think I need to export that one. Okay. So now this should be intact. We'll rebuild everything. So I'll change the, yep, Now we've written gen nav items, change the namespace. Okay, so now let's check that, make sure we didn't screw up. Okay, good. Just the licensing, we're in good shape. All right. So now we're gonna do that build thing, which will cause that RStudio like messages, but let's just get it in. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, so now go back to Tron here. Open the app. This should work. Famous last words. Oh, unused argument. Yep, I need to change the template when I go back to the other code here. Yeah, we'll have to, I know what I have to update after this. All right, let's try that again. No package called Mark. Oh, for goodness sakes. More Docker craziness. All right. Oh, I know why. So even though this is getting really in the weeds here, even though that, whoops, where is it? Where is it? Even though these are using the same files, the VS Code version and the RStudio version, they're actually different Docker containers, and I didn't install the Markdown package in this one, so that's why. All right, that was a quick one. Let's try this again. There it is. Okay, so. Oh. That's odd. Guess that page was not found. That worked before. We have to. Yeah, I may have changed the name maybe too greedily. I need to see here. Let's go and inspect the code here. So I generated nav items. See what page 1 looks like. Function nav links. href should be page 1. Okay, this is certainly odd. Now, the way I ran this before, let me confirm something here. I can tell you, I'll show how I did this before. Go back here. Let me load this. The way I was doing it in the previous streams, it was search projects and Foxtron. And then it was run app. Let's see if this. What? I thought I just edited that. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Sandbox. Oh. That may have caused the problem the first time. Okay. Let's see if that solves it. Okay. Nope, that's still complaining. But it shouldn't do that. It should not put this /p here. What is going on there? Okay, so best way to verify this is we go back to, well, I think it's honestly, Tan, I think it might be an artifact of how RStudio runs the app, because I'm going to show you that unless I've totally messed something up here, it works without a hitch on this one here. So let's now. Oh, okay, that's a description file thing. Don't worry about that. Although, well, maybe not. What I want to do here is, let me clean up some here in the template directory first. We don't need this anymore, because we're going to force the home page being created. And then whoops. And then this will be deleted. Okay. If it fails here too, then I know I've definitely messed it up. Okay. In fact, in that description file, I might change that. Okay. I'm replicating what I did like 3 nights ago because I was trying to make this work. Call this Flynn. Yep. Okay. All right. So this is temp W Flynn, and then okay, here we go. See? So this is puzzling here. Now this viewer, let's open this up. Oh, well, no, oh, never mind. Now you see here, yeah, I think, yeah, Tan, you're definitely seeing something here too. The URL here is the main URL, but then when I go to page 1, it definitely gets the right one here. And the home, this is just like the having a slash at the end. It's literally the same thing. So I know the RStudio IDE does something different to the URLs when you host it in there. But when you run it in other means, like in VS Code, that URL is preserved the way you want it. Now, what I don't know is I've never tried brochure itself in RStudio before. But I think it may be an RStudio server thing, maybe not so much an RStudio desktop thing. I'm probably going to have to find a better way to test this. What I may do is I might, off stream, fire up a VM on my Linux box and put RStudio desktop, then, and see if I can replicate it there. Yeah, let's okay, Tan. Yeah, thanks. Well, let's look at this again. So let's yeah, sure. So I'm gonna run the app again. Okay. So you can see we've got this local 6188/P/C whatever, and you're right, it is definitely rewriting. And let's see what happens if we just do page 1. Bingo! Yes, it is. Okay, so that's interesting here. So it adds this junk here, but the nav bar doesn't know about that junk, which it shouldn't have to. It should just reference the /page1 like you see when I hover the mouse over it. That's what it should be. But RStudio server is causing some magic here. Yeah, exactly. Root, and that's what it should be. That's the whole spirit of brochure. What Tan is saying is that we're doing the root URL. That's how brochure operates it with. But RStudio is giving a different root URL, and hence it's not smart enough to make that connection. There's probably a way to force it, but if I end up serving the app in a subdirectory, it'll bork. Okay, interesting. Now, what I tried earlier, though, is I tried running the app in the directory in RStudio. This is interesting. But yeah, I mean, this is an important issue because most people are probably going to interact with this in RStudio itself. Yeah, okay, so my page 1 link will go to the index/page 1 and not like something in between. Well, let's do an experiment, shall we? Let's do an experiment. It is a brochure problem. Let's verify that it happens with brochure proper. Just and if it does, then believe me, I know who to talk to. I know who to talk to about this. So let's close this. Let's do new project. We're going to go in that sandbox area and we're just going to do a brochure project. And let's start copying an example from brochure itself. I come prepared, folks. I always come prepared. This is the minimal one. All right, let's load it. All right, let's try it. I'll need a little shiny, of course. Oh, this one didn't have the nav bar with it, so I can't click it, but it's probably going to have the same problem, right? If I do /page2 here. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, no, I see it. No, my nav, that would work, but it's this that will not work. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it is a brochure problem. Okay, yep, so we've confirmed it. So let's let's see if this has been on the radar already. Yeah, that's exactly right, Tan, is that the way brochure expects you to do the hyperlink is literally just that slash and whatever the link name you want. They don't expect it to have the stuff inside. So I need to I haven't seen some of these issues recently. I'm not sure what that's about anyway. So I probably will file an issue. I'll probably do it off stream, but at least I know I can replicate it with the reprex. All it is just running in our studio server itself. So, yep, okay. So at least I know it wasn't like something I broke. I just wanted to make sure as we were doing that. So the good news is like all that last hour or so, you mean right here, right? If we just call it page 2 or page, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. So we could try, yeah, that's worth a shot. We can try it and see what happens. And then, nope, still no dice there. Yeah, I think it's this is an issue that I have to talk to Colin about because I know that lately he's been developing more in VS Code, so I'm not sure if he's tested it in RStudio itself yet. Although I would think that if this was an issue before, that Jacqueline would have caught it when she was using this in her GG postcard, GG IRL package, when she made the whole process of printing and ordering the postcard in brochure. She was like one of the earlier adopters, like I was. But my biggest issue is I want to make sure the users of this have freedom to choose whatever development environment they want. And if nothing else, like even if brochure itself can't fix it themselves, I need to tell users how to deal with this. So, oh, yeah, you're right, Tan. So, I mean, this is what I thought about too, is that if you deploy this app, whether it's Shiny Apps.io or your own custom Docker thing that's hosted in the cloud, this is a non-issue. Just like with VS Code, it's a non-issue. VS Code is kind of acting like that deployed version, albeit locally. So that's why in the grand scheme of things, no big deal. But I want to make it so that when they develop this app, that it's as frictionless as possible. And this one does have me worried a little bit, but I think if I start talking with Colin about it, I want to figure out if there's like tricks I can do in shinylearning to alert the user about it. Yeah, exactly. I've been nice to Colin. I think he can. I think he'll want to help me out. We know what I've done for his free advertising of Golem lately. So not that he ever watches this or anything, right? So yeah, I think we'll move on with my dev life right now. So let's get rid of this. Yeah, I know. I don't expect you to. I don't expect you to. All right. So my other goal tonight, other than this tidying up and seeing what issues might persist with our studio execution, which we now have done. So thank you, Tan. As always, you are my most talented co-pilot in terms of solving these issues, or at least knowing where the problem is. Even if we couldn't solve it, we know who to talk to solve it. So thank you. Have a good night. Thanks for joining. So the other thing I want to do now with the time I have left, probably for another 15, 20 minutes or so, is find the app that I want to put in a Shiny Learning workflow and start kind of bootstrapping that a little bit as like a really big use case for me to demonstrate the package, and frankly another way to test this thing out. So we're going to go back to my GitHub repo, or my GitHub account I should say. Let me get my mouse back here. All right. I have one that I think could be a good fit, but hopefully not too much overkill. Is my Shiny Source app, which I haven't shown in quite some time. This was actually my contribution to Tidy Tuesday about a couple years ago, of all things. Was to build a Shiny app around the data set. And the whole idea of this was to look at that data source dozen data set and do some pretty neat interactive visualizations around it, such as like the dinosaur, the star, be able to zoom in on it, get the points zoomed in here, you know, fancy crosstalky kind of stuff. And then it had the animate part, or if we go from like the dinosaur to the star, we lock it in, we see our fun animated GIF here. And then, barring any catastrophes here, this is definitely taking longer than expected. There we go. We will get a plotly plot. We can play that. And then it will animate from the dinosaur layout to the star layout, but yet the summary statistics, the correlation, other than a little variation here and there, are basically the same with some rounding error. So that's the whole idea behind the data set. But what I thought about is I could take one page of this and act like I was starting it from scratch. I went from prototyping it to making it look really, you know, at least decently polished, like what you're seeing here. And the only thing would be is that this example itself may start very basic, and then it will start adding packages to do the UI magic, to do the backend magic. And then this could have like a series of snapshots. Maybe the first snapshot is literally like a prototype of like a couple of windows. And then it starts adding things until you get to this. And I don't think I need to go like this far with it. I could literally just start here, because this app, like this page on its own, is, you know, relatively solid. I mean, it's an exploration tab. We just look at the different data sets and you can, you know, zoom in and all that fun stuff. So I think it demonstrates some nice shiny concepts here without being too overwhelming and having the summary statistics update reactively to all this. So this is my candidate number one. Candidate number two would probably be the shiny Lego. If we go to the create and I browse to a PNG and I hit create, there we go. We got the Lego mosaic in graphic form. You can customize things like the width and height, brightness. That didn't really do anything, did it? Change the theme. Oh, I have to hit create again, maybe. I forgot. I forgot how much I re-engineered this. Oh yeah, I did a lot of enhancements for a webinar. Yeah, that's right. I did this for a webinar. I totally forgot. made it a lot better for that. Yeah, okay. So anyway, that's another candidate. I'll be honest, I'm leaning more towards this for the simplicity of it. Just this particular tab, I think it's easier to do. This one's got a lot more moving parts to it, which I think maybe just isn't quite ready or quite, it might be overkill for a simple example, but you know, I'll keep it in the back of my mind. So I think I'm going to do shinysaurus with it. So the part I need to educate myself on now is we go back to shinysaurus. Yeah, this is the simpler of the two by far. This mod explore right now looks like a lot, but it's intuitive to iterate on this, I feel. So I'm feeling like this is probably the way to go. Now, the way we're going to handle it in the development repo itself is first, let's stop this.
Whoa, dumber than advertised.
Yes.
Don't ask.
Oh, stop it, Hank. So I put in the fun sound things with this. We are going to first commit everything we've done up to this point. Okay. Let's get rid of these. Polish layer. Doing that. And then these are all related to kind of fixing grand checks. Add files for grand checks. Okay, so I actually want to make a proper README for this, so I think use this, use README / RMD. Let's get this going. Yep, perfect. I have a disagreement with how these templates are done. I think this should be just remotes, because remotes is actually the lighter weight if you just want to install stuff from GitHub. But anyway, I'll just tweak this. And let me actually document what I just was about to overwrite there. If we go back to, whoops, where's my repo? Let me just document this before I forget. It's likely not the final name of this package. That's other suggestions. So Tan says shiny snapshot. I believe so. Yep. Play on machine. I think there were some other suggestions in the chat. I'll look back on it after this. I have the history all right here. But I'll kind of keep these for now. Okay. get rid of the README here. And then this. Actually, I can use VS Code to do this. What am I doing? Down, preview to the side. Perfect. Didn't actually compile it though, so I guess we'll have to. Oh, it only does the preview stuff. Oh, perfect. Okay. Hey, Jackie, how are you doing? Yep, I'm glad, appreciate it. I've seen you on the other streams already, so just doing some polishing of Shiny Learning and getting prepared to, in essence, make a nice use case for it to share with the world once I get this all polished up, because I definitely want to use the Shiny Learning project in some future materials throughout the year. So I got to actually use it myself first. It's some way to advertise it. So now we got a README here. Let me get rid of that HTML version. Then, yep. README. Yeah, it has been a little bit. I've had yeah, some ups and downs recently, and last week I was actually busy with the data mishaps talk, which I think you were tuned in for that. That was a great time, and boy did I ever underestimate the prep work for it, but I had tons of fun, and I hope they do it again next year. It was living vicariously through some of the stories I heard, and apparently my HPC story was resonating with a few people. It was good time. Yep. Oh, sorry about the buffering issues, Unicorn Coder. If others are experiencing with it, let me know. But yeah, thanks for joining. I'll be winding down soon now that I found my example, which I'm going to first. Let's push our changes up. However, I need to do a new branch. I always forget. Check out. All right. Studio polish. Now let's push this up. There we go. So let's do an issue here, but what we learned about with Tan watching my coding here. Sure, add bar links fail in RStudio server. App is executed RStudio server. URLs are changed with additional content in between the host and the end URL, which the for sure package is not able to detect when the user tries to visit a different page of the app. I need to assemble reprex simply app in pro readme get in touch with on a possible workaround. Perfect. Okay, so the other issue we're gonna put on here is create showcase app using shinylearning. That the page of the copy my URL here. All right. It's that to show the evolution from simple prototype polished and production ready page. Get the repo going here too. Okay, I think that's all. Let's get the changes merged in, and then we're gonna probably call it there. Oh, you know what? We should bump the version of the package, which is bump it to this. Not much of a big change, but you know, we're incrementing here. Okay, that should get it. All right, that should be able to merge automatically. Yep, perfect. Okay, some progress tonight, mostly housekeeping, but again, the part here that we're going to start working on is adapting this page of Shiny Source to use in the app infrastructure. I'll maybe start the branch for it. We may not get far tonight, but let's at least do a new branch here. Okay. Now, what I might do here is I might store it in the inst folder because I think it'll be good to have this in the package itself as a way that users could run as an example, not just see it online. So let's get that going and make the inst shiny source. Well, actually, what we should do, let's scratch that. We should use my package to do it. Silly me. Add shinylearning, and then this will be it's shiny source. Now this is something that will not affect normal usage of this package because I'm doing this in the package itself, so it looks like it's going to get mad at me. I'll just say for sure. Overwrite, no. Okay. Now, did that do it right? Let's find out. Let's find out. Shiny Saurus. No, it didn't. Okay. All right. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to have to nuke it and then try again. What I will do is I will do this in the temp folder and then move it over. Yeah, now we're just gonna move it on over. There we go. That's more like it. That's what it should be. Okay. Then if we just run that. Perfect. Okay. So from that point, the home page is going to talk about Shiny Saurus and or by shinylearning apply to Shiny Saurus, and then page 1 will be kind of like this. We're going to rearrange how elements are laid out so it kind of matches what I have here, maybe just the explore part, and then placeholders for things, and then we'll start to kind of flesh it out from there. Okay. But I think that's a pretty nice place to stop. I'm trying to get better take care of myself and sleep better these days, so I'm going to try and end on a good note, just getting things lined up.
I got so many problems, I don't even know where to begin here.
No,
what I got a load of garbage.
No, it's not. We're in good shape. So okay, so let's close up this. We commit before we go too much further. Now we better not commit it just yet because I'm going to change it up quite a bit here. Okay. All right, let me look at our issue tracker one more time before I sign off and see if there's any other things I want to at least look at a bit. This is actually outdated now. The use of vslib. Always have to look up these links. Right. Did I just lose my... Yep, there it is. All right. Code base. It's much cleaner. The navigation issue is solved. Always nice to close issues before we sign off here. I think, yeah, we add shiny learning function. That's a solid job already. Replicate structure. Close that. God, snapshot function. Added quit job already. And the idea of automatic commits is not in the scope. Initial release. Perhaps in the future. Okay, everything else can stay here, but at least we've closed a little bit here. Okay. Yep, I think we'll probably end it there. So, as always, thanks to everybody for coming tonight. Had a little fun debugging as always, and setting the stage for what I want to work on next is really putting a nice use case around the package and think of a better name. We're on the way to that, and hopefully we'll get this out the door sooner than later. So I'm gonna head off now and get some shut-eye, and yeah, have a wonderful night, day, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and we will see you next time on the interwebs here. So, and if you want to see the back catalog, head to youtube.com/shinydeveloper series. You'll see previous live streams and previous interviews. We're still processing our latest Shiny Dev Series interview. It's a fun one. It'll actually be in 2 parts. So I'm looking forward to releasing that, and some more content on the way. So take care, and we'll see you all next time. So bye for now.